Let's talk about one of the biggest privacy concerns people have today, and that's online tracking. Hi, everyone. This is Tom Eston, founder and host of the Shared Security Show. In this episode, I want to talk to you about 3 new techniques that can help prevent online tracking. That's right, these are the 3 new things that you may not be aware of. So, I'm not going to discuss the best web browser you should be using or why you should be using a VPN. You already know that stuff, right? So, let's get into it. One of the biggest privacy concerns today is the collection and use of personal data by companies for all kinds of different purposes, including selling your data to shady data brokers and, of course, targeted advertising. That means every app you use and every website you visit is tracking you in some way, shape, or form. Plus, these days, tracking you online is much more sophisticated than simply determining your location, collecting your IP address, or leaving a cookie on your device. Newer techniques are using advanced fingerprinting to track things like the size of your laptop screen and even the movements of your mouse. Yikes. As more and more of our personal data is collected and shared, there are increasing concerns about the potential misuse of your data and how it may be used to make decisions that affect you without your knowledge or consent. This has led to calls for stronger privacy laws and better protections for personal data. Now, let's get real for a second. If you're waiting for the government to create a comprehensive law to protect your personal data, well, you may be waiting a very long time. That's why I believe it's up to you to prevent online tracking. The first tip is to enable and configure the privacy settings in your web browser. Most modern web browsers have added features to help block tracking cookies and other forms of online tracking. This means that just using the private or incognito mode isn't enough. You need to specifically enable the privacy settings in your browser's preferences. For example, Safari has an option to disable cross-site tracking. Chrome allows you to enable do not track requests and block third-party cookies, and Firefox has enhanced tracking protection with 2 modes, balanced and strict. Remember to configure these same settings on your mobile browser as well to ensure that you're protected on all of your devices. As a reminder, private browsing mode only prevents the ability to save passwords, cookies, and browsing history locally on your device. It does not make you anonymous or prevent online tracking. My second tip is to enable the privacy settings related to online tracking on your smartphone. If you have an Apple device, they make it really easy with their feature called App Tracking Transparency. Simply go into your privacy and security settings, then select Tracking, and make sure Allow Apps to Request to Track is set to off. This will ensure that all app tracking requests are automatically denied. Apple also has its own targeted advertising system separate from App Tracking Transparency, so you need to change this setting as well. To disable it, navigate to Settings, then Privacy, then Apple Advertising. Set the personalized ad switch to the off position to disable. If you have an Android device, it's a little more complicated as you'll need to change some settings on your device and in the Google account settings that you're using on your smartphone. First, you want to prevent your device from sending your location to Google. You can change that by going into your Google account settings and selecting Data and Personalization. Here you can turn off the Use Location History option. Next, if you have an Android 12 device, go into your Settings app and navigate to Privacy, then Ads. Select Delete Advertising ID, then select it again on the next page to confirm. This will prevent any app on your phone from accessing the advertiser ID in the future. If you happen to have an older Android device, you can use the setting called Opt Out of Ads Personalization, which will reset the advertiser ID. This setting is important, as disabling it will make it much harder for advertisers and data brokers to track you. Now, the last thing you need to do if you have an Android device is to visit myactivity.google.com and turn off web and app activity. Ensure location history is also set to off. Also, turn off that YouTube history. And finally, ensure personalized ads are also turned off. Whew, that's a lot of settings for Android users. My last tip is to use a privacy focused search engine like Startpage or DuckDuckGo, which don't track your search activity or personalize the results you see. These search engines can provide you with a more private and secure way to search the internet. Personally, I like to use Startpage because it gives you the same results you get from Google, but they don't collect your search history and they don't record your IP address or other identifying information. I also like that they have an anonymous view proxy feature. Now you can access this by clicking on the little mask located to the left of each search result. This allows you to access and explore entire websites anonymously by proxying your connection through Startpage instead of a direct connection. Think of this as a VPN that you can use on the fly. And lastly, I want to leave you with one final piece of advice. Be very careful about the information you share online. Think twice before providing personal information on websites or social media platforms. The less information you share, the less data companies have to track and potentially use for marketing or other purposes. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, hit that like and subscribe button. To catch all the latest from the show, visit our website, sharedsecurity.net. Follow us on Twitter at SharedSec, and join our Reddit community on the Shared Security Show subreddit.